This is News 4 San Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
Well, good morning. It's Nonstop News starts right now. We are the only station that is commercial-free all the way until the top of the hour. We have you covered this morning, including a look at traffic with Joy and a look at your weather with Jeannette. Good morning, Jeannette.
Good morning, Marisa. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is beautiful out there this morning. This afternoon, though, it is going to get pretty hot. Forecasting highs to climb to the low and even mid-90s. Let's take a look at the latest drought monitor. First off, this was last week's, showing still a good chunk of the central zone under severe drought conditions. Extreme drought in the red from San Antonio to Hondo. Exceptional drought over the southeast corner of Medina County. As I fast forward this and show you for this week, the drought is expanding in the eastern zone. Severe drought now across a good portion of Wilson, Guadalupe, and Gonzales counties. Chances for rain, not so high now for next week. There is still a chance. However, we're now talking more of a 30% rain chance. We'll check out the weather maker, its track, and rain chances for our area next week coming up in your full forecast in just under 10 minutes.
So we've had a relatively light morning as far as congestion. That said, we have something interesting going on here on the east side. So I have reports that there is a train that is stopped on the tracks there. Why it stopped, I don't know. But I'm being told that it is blocking East Houston Street between East Crockett and North Onslow Street. And so not going to be able to get through there on East Houston Street because of that train stopped on the tracks. That's something to keep in mind for sure if that's part of your morning commute. Downtown I-35 northbound at South Alamo Street, about a 10 to 15 minute delay behind this because of that ongoing construction closure. Here's a live look at the backup. This is the tail end of that backup, the northbound lanes of I-35 here near Highway 90, and that is also spilling off onto Highway 90 as well, not just I-35. Here's the rest of San Antonio. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
Joy, thank you. Breaking news out of the entertainment industry. Brett James, songwriter of Jesus Take the Wheel, has been killed in a plane crash. Investigators say the single-engine plane he was riding in, along with two other people, crashed yesterday afternoon in Franklin, North Carolina. The aircraft was registered to Brett James. The FAA, along with the National Safety Board, are investigating. More details this morning. A train hit a car which made it burst into flames. This happened at 4:47 this morning on Greenway between East Commerce and East Houston Street. Firefighters believe a car was left on the tracks, which was then hit by the train. No one was in the car at the time. New details are out concerning a staff member of Congressman Tony Gonzales, who died after being burned alive inside of her home. The New York Post reports that Regina Santos Avalis died early Sunday in her home in Uvalde. Her mom found her daughter, and she's only 35 years old, fully conscious and on fire when she went to her home. The report says her last words were, "I don't want to die." Santos Avalis was taken to BAMC here in San Antonio, where she passed away. Fire officials say the fire could have started in the backyard. The cause remains under investigation. The family of the 16-year-old killed in Converse has confirmed his identity. Arthur Curtis Thomas Jr. died Tuesday morning after he was shot and later crashed into a parked vehicle. Thomas Jr. was involved in a shooting on Steep Valley near Old Seguin Road. Police say he was driving a stolen car at the time of the crash with multiple gunshot wounds to his body, which led to his death. The owner of the parked car Thomas crashed into said it all sounded like an explosion.
My roommate said that he had heard it, came down here, saw that my car was all the way down there and was all smashed up. He thought it was me at first, so it was just crazy. A lot was happening all at once.
There is no word on how the gunfire started. Currently, no arrests have been made. Two people are being treated at a local hospital after the house they lived in caught fire. This was a scene last night on the city's far west side off Figueroa Canyon near North Ellison Drive. What firefighters do know is that the fire started in the garage. Some windows were blown out and a car was destroyed. It's still not known what the cause of the fire was. Developing now, the Uvalde Police Department have arrested a teen they believe shot another teen Wednesday evening. News 4 San Antonio's Tawny Davis is live right now with the details and what charges the teen is facing. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning. The teen accused of the shooting was arrested following a multi-agency investigation. Now, this is still underway and a lot of still moving pieces, but here is what we know right now. This all happened on the evening of September 17th when the Uvalde Police Department responded to a shooting. When they arrived at the location, they found a teen shot multiple times. He was later transported to a hospital in San Antonio for his serious injuries. Police discovered the teen was shot by someone in a passing vehicle while riding a scooter. The next day, through a collaborative effort from multiple agencies, including UPD, DPS, Special Operations, Texas Rangers, and others, they found and arrested a 17-year-old suspect on the 1800 block of Wilson Street. As investigators found a gun and other evidence possibly linked to other criminal offenses. Assistant Chief Mike Davis said on social media, "Every resident of Uvalde deserves to feel safe in their home and neighborhood. I am proud of the tireless efforts of our detectives and partner agencies who worked around the clock to bring this suspect into custody and take weapons from those who commit crimes on our streets. We urge our community members to report any criminal activity. There is zero tolerance for violence in our city." So that 17-year-old was taken into custody. This investigation remains active while waiting for with additional charges pending. Reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
A Texas man is facing serious charges accused of making terroristic threats against a candidate for a New York City mayor. Prosecutors in Queens say 44-year-old Jeremy Fistel of Plano made multiple threats against New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Memdani between June and July of this year. Prosecutors say they were anti-Muslim messages in the form of voicemails and a written note. Fistel allegedly told authorities he only wanted to express his political beliefs. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. A major leadership shakeup at Texas A&M University. The president is stepping down. This is after more than a week of controversy over a viral classroom video showing a student confronting a professor about gender identity in a children's literature course. Texas A&M University President Mark Welsh III, a retired general, ultimately fired that professor, but he faced calls for his resignation, including from Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. After it was revealed Welsh took the professor's side in the very beginning. San Antonio City Council approving a more than $4 billion budget for fiscal year 2026. The budget addresses projected shortfalls by slashing spending by $111 million. Key investments include a new homeless services and strategy department, street improvements, and affordable housing. An amendment made to the budget, the addition of 40 more patrol officer positions. District 10 Councilman Mark White wanted more.
Councilman, your time is up. Councilman, your time is up.
The delegate agency
Councilman
fund amounts to less than 2%.
Point of order. Your time is up. Funds. Councilman, please respect the body. Thank you.
It's what our citizens want. It's what law enforcement is telling us we need.
Councilman White wanted 60 patrol officers. The budget was created to close a projected $20 million deficit caused by stagnating tax revenues and cuts in federal funding. With the fiscal 2026 San Antonio City budget being approved, some local nonprofits feel they're being forgotten. And when it comes to many of those nonprofits, city support means their work can continue. CEO and founder of San Antonio Threads says they typically serve thousands of kids a year with new shoes, new shirts, and new pants. Despite applying for funding from the city, they weren't selected. Meanwhile, two other nonprofits had a funding scare. They say luckily they were included in the budget.
I was hopeful that the city would make it right, and that's exactly what happened. And thanks to all the city council members who worked diligently in their efforts to support services in San Antonio within those designated agencies.
It's an uphill battle. There's a lot of other competing interests and other worthy causes. There's other other organizations and needs that weren't funded.
These nonprofits who did not get funding remain committed to educating city council members better about their services to the community. Now it's time for your morning rush. The U.S. has vetoed a United Nations security resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. All 14 other members of the Security Council voted in favor of it. The resolution demanded an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. A U.S. diplomat told the council it opposes the resolution because it fails to condemn Hamas and recognize Israel's right to defend itself. Former Vice President Kamala Harris says Pete Buttigieg was her first pick for her running mate last year, not Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. In her new book, 107 Days, Harris writes Buttigieg would have been an ideal partner if she were a straight white man. She says her presidential campaign was already asking a lot of America to accept a black woman married to a Jewish man. Harris says picking an LGBTQ running mate was too risky, and Buttigieg knew it.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
Happy Friday. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Oktoberfest. There are a couple of community events for the elderly this afternoon. So nice weather for them to just venture out.
Yes, we need the rain, but when it comes to our weekend plans, we like it dry.
We like it sunny and easy.
And it is going to get hot, though. We're going to see high temperatures climb to the mid-90s at least a couple days this weekend. Here's what to expect. So temperatures will stay above the normal, talking highs getting closer to the mid-90s. Very little to no rain heading into the weekend. Does look mostly dry. Lower rain chances for next week. Big sad face there. It looks like our chances for rain next week not so promising. And here's why. It looks like the storm system that's going to be dropping south across the Plain States and then coming towards at least North Texas will stay to the north of our region. Although it is going to send some moisture this far south, most of the rain will be up across the north. Still expecting some more widespread rain for a few days from North Texas up towards Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. This will drag a cold front through our area next Tuesday, so that's going to help to bring temperatures down a bit. But it's a relatively weak front. We're not going to see a big cool down, and rain chances closer to 30% here in San Antonio. The farther north you are in Texas, the higher the chance for rain. And because of this updated track of the system, that storm system, we've had to trim how much rain we'll see across our area. Now forecasting closer to 1/10 of an inch, maybe upwards to 1/2 inch plus in some spots. Out west, a trace to 1/10 of an inch plus. Our eastern zone possibly upwards of a half an inch to an inch of rainfall. It is dry out there this morning. In fact, it is going to be a dry day over much of the area. Up across north portions of Oklahoma, I should say, slow-moving thunderstorms there. That's along a frontal boundary. Some tropical moisture from the Pacific is working its way up across the southern half of the Four Corners region. So pretty wet in portions of Arizona and New Mexico, and some of that wet weather is reaching far west Texas. It is raining right now in El Paso. We're seeing an area of low pressure that's sitting across the Dakotas and Minnesota, hence the rain that's falling in those spots. For this morning, mostly clear. This afternoon, mostly sunny. There could be a late day shower over our eastern zone counties. That's between 2 and 6. Tomorrow in the afternoon, we'll see partly to mostly sunny skies with a shower across the east. Sunday does get more humid. We'll have clouds in the morning and then partly to mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. Still the chance for a shower closer to San Antonio Sunday in the afternoon. Here's a closer look at that weekend weather forecast. So much of the day is dry on Saturday, tomorrow, but on Sunday could see a few sprinkles in the morning and an isolated shower possible in the afternoon. For next Monday, first day of fall, at 10% rain chance, 97, 30% rain chance next Tuesday and Wednesday. And notice temperatures, high temperatures in the lower 90s by Wednesday. We'll continue to keep an eye on that forecast for next week. Still could make some changes. Here's the extended forecast for the other 3 zones. 40% rain chance in the Hill Country Tuesday, and in the west eastern zone, a 40% rain chance next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Another check on the roads before you head out the door. Again, I want to remind you that I'm getting some reports of East Houston Street being closed right now. That's between East Crockett and North Onslow. And that is because there is a train reportedly stopped on the tracks. Now, I do not know why, but I am getting reports that it is blocking East Houston Street there in that area. Downtown, we do have about a 10 to 15 minute delay in the northbound lanes of I-35 because of that closure at South Alamo Street. Here's a live look at the tail end of that backup. So this is nowhere near where the closure actually begins. This is in the northbound lanes of I-35 near Highway 90. Highway 90 also generally feels some of the effects of that closure as well. Zooming out, I am seeing a little bit of congestion in the eastbound lanes of I-10, Highway 90 there just outside Loop 1604. I'm not sure if there's anything additional causing that, but just keep that in mind. A little slowdown there. That's the latest with our on-time traffic.
All right, Joy, thank you. You could call them chimpagne problems. That's because a new study is finding chimpanzees consume the equivalent of 2.5 alcoholic drinks per day through the ethanol in the fruit they eat. A recent study measured the ethanol content in the fruits chimpanzees eat in their African habitat, confirming that their normal diet contains a consistent low-level dose of alcohol from natural fermentation processes. This finding supports the drunken monkey hypothesis, suggesting that humans' attraction to alcohol may stem from an ancestral diet of boozy fruit. And we've all heard of Shark Week, but have you heard of Fat Bear Week in Alaska? The annual online voting contest is intended to showcase the resiliency of the brown bears who gain weight each fall in order to survive the harsh winters. While the competition is based around which bear is the fattest, the creator of the contest says it's much more about than just weight gain.
It really is an opportunity for people to think about how bears survive, what they need to do to survive, what the ecosystem provides them, and look at their individual success stories as well.
Voting is underway at explore.org/fatbear.